Assalamualaikum and good evening. My name is Hamdan bin Magdalene, matric number 179203 from Faculty of Science.
My name is Dr. Azam bin Muda, student from Faculty of Divergent.
My name is Master Hafiz Habib, student from Faculty of Engineering.
I am Israeli senior from the Faculty of Environmental Studies.
I'm Aziz. The number was 7.4 from Faculty of Education. I am Adira Sana. My number is 167 I'm from Faculty of Engineering.
Hi, my name is Shamini Sofi. I'm internal business 77037 and I'm from Faculty of Engineering.
Okay, so today is our second last meeting. We are still discussing on the trilogy of Divergent, and I think it is a good time for us to discuss on some of the conflicts or any discussion that we haven't covered in the previous meetings. So probably we'll start from any conflicts.
I'm going to talk about major conflict in Divergent, which is one conflict Trish faced was on choosing day. Trish struggled to choose between staying in abnegation with her family or transferring to Dauntless, the most dangerous faction with minimum chance to see her family. Staying in abnegation means Trish will be free from abnegation, strict rules and selflessness while transferring to Dauntless could give her to freedom she craved for. After Trish decided to transfer to Dauntless, she learned that to get past initiation and stay in Dauntless, she need to be in the top 10 rank initiates. Trish would have to change from selfless person, and she was raised as to the strong behaved person she need to become. And then the lastly is Trish and Dauntless uncover a rooted split to destroy Dauntless. They would have to try and protect their families and the many innocent obligation life. It was them against everyone.
Okay, next I will talk about major internal conflict actually. So I think that this major internal conflict is that when she want to fit, but she really is so different from all the others because she is divergent. So from that, this really sets her apart from the rest of the Dauntless faction. Even though they don't know that she is divergent, when all she wants to do it free. So and besides, Trish actually Trish also wrapping her hand around what is happening. She's lived this life for years, but now everything is changing, and she is struggling to find out if it is for better or for worse.
I want to discuss about the internal conflict of the novel is Beatrice fight against herself to decide what faction she belongs to, figuring who she is as a person and what is right compared to what is wrong. By the end of the novel, Beatrice decides she doesn't belong to any faction or one single personality, and she decides she is a divergent. Later, she still has issue with her identity, but not the same ones. She still had not figured out what is right and what is wrong in her definition by the end of the books, but she made some progress. For example, she was forced to kill one of her best friends, and she knew that was wrong, but she also knew that it's okay because she was trying to kill her. But in her mind, that is still didn't make it right. Okay.
So any other discussion about batteries or trees? Are you talking about trees? Conflict.
I want to add some idea. Actually, the conflict is same, but there's such an extra explanation for the conflict. Actually, in Divergent, the conflict is difficult to trace and recognize because it is obscured by secrets, mystery, and other minor conflicts. For example, early in the novel, it seems as if the major conflict is Trish's acceptance and assimilation into Dauntless. Will she be able to successfully pass through Dauntless' invitation while keeping her divergence a secret? At first, that is the novel's pressing problem. After time, however, we begin to realize that the major conflict goes beyond Trish and her personal affairs. There's a larger issue in the form of Erudite revolution and vendetta against abnegation, which ultimately takes center stage. Furthermore, as more secrets comes to light, we realize that Trish's divergence is not unique to her, and that there is a faction-wide conspiracy to suppress and eradicate divergence. Finally, Divergent's major conflict is only revealed to the reader as it is revealed to Trish. I think that's all.
Okay, so we have discussed, three of us discussed about the conflict of trees or batteries. So basically the way I see it, like you said just now, it is not just the conflict of the protagonist herself, but then I feel that we are leaving another important character inside here, which is Paul or Tobias, who have father issue, who was named Marcus, right? So the internal conflict, that Marcus is horrible to him, so he could hate his own father. Okay, so the external conflict is that Marcus could beat Tobias up, and that is seen as the biggest problem. And then it is when we talk about Tobias and his problem with the father, it is hard to see if the conflict is internal or external, because his father's harshness towards him ruined his mind and personality, and eventually become one of his fears, where the character become the anti or the opposite of what Beatrice in the Divergent series. And I think it is also that he kind of sees himself in his father, but never wants to become like him. And it is internal because he doesn't want himself to become like his father, and basically is fighting with himself. I think for that, we are done for some of the conflicts you are going to talk about.
I'm going to talk about climax.
Okay.
First of all, I agree that the climax is when the daughters kill the abomination, but I don't think it's resolved. Most of the abomination are killed. The one that survives make it to immunity. The doctors are no longer controller, and they decide on where they are going, who they are fighting for. Not necessarily a happy ending to the book, but this is a resolution. However, the war is never resolved in the Divergent. That is the beginning of the climax for the whole series, but it's not the most intense point in the entire series. So, well, it depends on what you would consider the climax. If you consider the start of the war, the climax, that is another thing, because that is not resolved in Divergent, the first book. I consider the attack on abnegation the climax, and so I think that is resolved when Dauntless stop attacking abnegation. Also, it was set aside because abnegation was basically destroyed, and the only survivor went to MIT. And at the start of the war, there were no faction. The faction system was destroyed by then. That means the after the climax, there no more about the faction. That's from I know. How about your opinion?
I think the most important issue about in the Divergent is the author shows about the understatement. When Four confronts Peter about his attack on Tris, he says, "I understand why you worried, Peter. The events of last night certainly prove that you are a miserable coward." So this sentence understates Peter's fear about his chances of successfully entering Dauntless. He is so warped by his fear of failure that he stabs another initiate in the eye and arranges for Tris to be murdered in an effort to cement his path to success. Saying that Peter is worried is an understatement and does not convey the all-encompassing anxiety he has about his future in Dauntless.
Right, so right, but then if you read through the series of the books, the thing about war is it is never resolved. And in the case of Divergent, when all the factions break apart, they actually it is actually a beginning of a new era or a new era. Yes, a new era of that storyline itself. So I feel that Divergent provide us with many insight on the dynamic of war and how this war changes people's mind and perception of things. So I think that is all. So for the next video, we will discuss. For the final video, we will discuss on the final reflection of the video. So thank you guys very much. Thank you.